Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of our new show, Drive-Thru Wrestling. My name is Jake.
I'm Tommy.
And we're here today. What we're really wanting to do is, we did have the Nerd Buffet podcast, and we've been talking about video games, wrestling, movies, whatever the heck we want. And we thought maybe since there's a lot of wrestling to cover, and with this glorious week that we're upcoming.
Yeah, this is a big week for wrestling.
Yeah, we thought, let's just separate the wrestling into its own show. Maybe it'll cross over into the podcast too.
If there's something big
that
we need to talk about more so, and talk about it in the podcast. So this is the Nerd Buffet's Drive-Thru Wrestling.
Yes. So I think I think the best way of starting these shows is let's go chronologically, and we'll start with Raw. We had a big week so far. I mean, we had Raw. We had technically the last time we're ever going to look at Smackdown spoilers ever.
Yeah, SmackDown's going live
next week. Yeah, as of Tuesday was that 16th or something?
Yeah, with the big draft.
Yeah, it's Tuesday I don't know what day that is. It's Tuesday. And then, of course, tonight, Wednesday, when we're recording this, and hopefully we'll have it out tonight too for you, was the first episode of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Awesome.
Every match was awesome. So let's start out with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw came at us live on the 11th. We started out with a number one contender match.
That was the Battle Royale.
Yeah. Yep. Did you see the ending coming that there was? I mean,
I have no idea they're going to give Darren Young a number one contender shot.
Right. I mean, once you saw Bob Backlund there at ringside, you thought maybe something was up. But the fact that you had some of the other guys there already in the match.
Yeah. And, Bob Backlund being there, I mean, you could think something was going on, but managers are always there.
Right.
Managers are.
But this is the first time we saw them live. I mean, I don't know if you realize that, but we've seen them in separate, and I think they're in separate places when they record those.
Yeah, when they're like the backstage areas or whatever.
Yeah, because it's split into two different videos. So that's the first time we've seen Bob Backlund live for quite a while.
So we know he's real. He's not a hologram.
No holograms, yes. Wasn't sent from the future or the past to help Darren Young. Which I guess I don't really understand. Make Darren Young great again. He was never great. And in my opinion, he was never even okay.
I think it's, WWE likes to grasp on the current events, so.
I get it, and I understand that it does have to do with Make America Great Again, which is Donald Trump's slogan. But at least, if you're going to use that, have a little bit to do with the source material.
Yeah, it's kind of way out of left field.
Okay. But even though I thought Corbin would be the one to win it, because he's been bringing out the Andre the Giant statue, and it was sitting there, so I thought, what a better way of either making him a monster heel or turn him babyface by beating The Miz.
What if he, comes in and ruins the match for him at the IC match?
That could be a way. That'd be smart. Don't even book him in a match, but that's what you have him do.
Yeah, don't have him in any match, but have him just come in and kill both of them.
There you go. That would work for me. We had. I thought it was a pretty good Raw. Skip ahead a little bit. We're just going to talk about the main points. The best segment of the night, in my opinion, I gave it an A+ when I watched it Monday. Seth Rollins came out and did the Rollins Report. What did you think of the very first episode of the Rollins Report?
It was really informative. I'm glad we got to see that side of Roman Reigns.
I know. He can kind of be a douche, can't he?
He's a monster, truly.
Right. He just admitted it, too. He said, when he asked him, are you going to continue to be a monster? And he just said, with every breath.
Yeah, as long as I have breath in my body.
So,
I mean, obviously, Seth Rollins had taken clips from previous interviews of Roman Reigns and plus splice them together to make a pretty hilarious
because, I mean, one of them, he has the title on his shoulder.
They were from 3 or 4 completely separate interviews.
Yeah. And then the curtains were completely different colors, and there's just a lot of...
But it was a really good, really clever promo.
Absolutely. And then Dean Ambrose comes out, and in my opinion, cuts like one of the best promos we've seen from Dean Ambrose.
He had high energy from Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Which is kind of different from his kind of, I'm the dude.
Right. He's my favorite guy on in wrestling right now, followed closely by Seth Rollins as a very close number 2. But just to see both of them interact anytime is great, but for both of them to be spot on Monday night was fantastic. I don't know where you stand with Ambrose and Rollins.
I'm warming up to Ambrose. I was kind of my least favorite Shield guy.
Really?
At the beginning,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm really warming up to him, especially with Reigns just kind of coasting. It seems like he's not progressing as a wrestler or a character. He's just kind of roaming.
The big question that Seth Rollins asked was, who is the best member of the Shield? Because he said that's what it's going to come down to next Sunday.
Yeah, and that's the question everyone's been asking since the beginning of the Shield.
I know we've talked about it 2 weeks in a row, but have you changed your mind with what's happened at all? On I think last week you said, and I agreed. I think Ambrose retains at the pay-per-view. Do you think that still happens?
I hope so, but we have the recently announced match on next week's Raw.
Absolutely. I guess I shouldn't have said retained, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't even know.
We don't know if Dean's going to go in as a champion.
Do you think anything will happen with that?
I don't think anything will happen.
Me
I think
neither.
it'll be a no contest or a DQ or something. Some kind of shenanigans, I think.
Some kind of
on
shenanigans.
Monday.
That's a fair assessment. And then we had, I'd have to agree with you on that, but we had something pretty obscure last week. We had talked about, or on Sunday's episode anyways, we talked about the final deletion.
Yeah, the final deletion.
It's a little too close to the final deletion for me to say that the New Day versus Wyatt thing had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's a big coincidence that they would be both doing pre-shot on location wrestling matches.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Concept wrestling matches. Although I will say it was not as funny as the final deletion was, because it was like you had Matt Hardy and now your precious lawn and riding on the mower. That's the best thing, but you didn't really see any of that. You saw just two teams, and I thought anyways it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, 6+ men fighting with weapons.
There's a pickaxe.
Real weapons.
Yeah.
Not the standard, kendo sticks and stuff you see in a wrestling match. These were actual weapons, almost Attitude Era hardcore match kind of stuff you'd see,
Right.
I mean, even worse.
And
so it's interesting seeing that this day and age in wrestling. Maybe that's how they get away with it,
Okay. The craziest spot I think I saw was our son, as we call him, Braun Strowman. The joke is, if Tom and I somehow were to have a son, or if we both did fusion, we would make Braun Strowman. Especially my beard used to be down to here, so I mean, it would look very much like Braun Strowman if the two of us fused. But he went full force at one of them, and went shoulder first into a car windshield.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, just speared the window.
Yeah. Nothing stopped him at all. I was like, what? I think I woke my girlfriend up. She was sleeping during Raw. When that happened, I was like, oh my God. The last big thing that happened on Raw was Steph and Shane. Mm-hmm. They had their little dispute come to a head finally of who was going to run which show. And, of course, we had Shane, who was announced to be running Smackdown, and mm-hmm. he cheered and was happy. But I guess tell him what it was Mr. Vince McMahon had to say about that.
What about Vince saying?
To kind of ruin the fun that he was having. Vince said, if you don't know what I'm saying.
You mean Steph. He said that Steph.
Vince said to Steph, yeah.
Yeah, he said Steph's going to run Raw.
Right.
Yeah, she was celebrating, and then he's like, well, knock it off, stop doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And Shane's going to be running SmackDown.
Yep. So, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
So direct competition, like we all knew. We just didn't know who was going to run what show.
It's kind of crazy to think that we knew it this long that it would just come to this, but they didn't really throw any wrenches in it like they usually do.
Yeah. They just kind of did what we all knew was going to happen.
I guess if you want to say the one wrench they did throw into it at the end was, hey, you guys are both commissioners.
Yeah.
But you're both going to have to hire GMs to run the thing, which means that the commissioners aren't going to be on very much. The GMs are going to be the one.
The GMs will be on TV the most, and we'll see Shane and Stephanie in kind of a Vince McMahon role where show up every once in a while.
The big rumor or the leak, so supposedly that I read on the internet the other day, was that there was a picture of Daniel Bryan as the SmackDown GM. What do you think about that? I don't think you saw that, did you?
No, I didn't see that. That'd be an all right idea. I mean, if I remember back when they used to have GMs and commissioners all the time, they went through general managers, like toilet paper back in the day.
Right.
So it could be a rotating door of GMs could be coming in. But Daniel Bryan would be a good choice. He loves wrestling. He can't wrestle anymore. Be a great way for him to be part of wrestling still, and also, be around it.
Right. My only concern is, in my opinion, the best general managers to watch are antagonists. Are the bad guys, because the good guy might be able to get over all of the bad guys, but then here comes the general manager out to say, guess what? You actually have a gauntlet match next, or you have this. It always adds more fun. Some of my favorite SmackDown moments were when Vicky Guerrero was the general manager, and the Undertaker and Edge was married to her, and the Undertaker was constantly getting screwed over. That was some of my, and that was later on in the SmackDown days. SmackDown being good days, we'll say. So I guess that's it for Raw. Hold on to your butts, in the words of Sam Jackson, because this is the very last set of SmackDown spoilers. Hopefully, you'll ever have to hear, because hopefully it stays as a live show, and this is all just perfect and hunky dory.
So of course, spoilers. If you don't want to know anything about SmackDown until tomorrow, don't listen to this last part.
Yep. And of course, I haven't seen SmackDown yet because it's Wednesday right now, and SmackDown is tomorrow. So this is what happened. We are just reading this is off of our sources on the internet, the interwebs. Sasha won a number 1 contender match over Dana Brooke. When I read that, I said I thought that Sasha already was number 1 contender.
Yeah, and I had no idea any different. And it's interesting that she was fighting Dana Brooke for that honor.
Yeah, because what would have happened if Dana Brooke won? Which, it's predetermined, but
yeah,
that'd be interesting, right? Dolph Ziggler beat Rusev thanks to Zack Ryder's interference. Zack Ryder on Monday, we had talked about him supposedly getting repackaged. Come to find out, his repackage is his song is remixed. That's it. Same old everything.
He's got a title shot.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. AJ Styles and Carl Anderson beat Enzo and Cass. That's a little surprising that it didn't say there was any shenanigans. It just said beat Enzo and Cass. Pretty crazy for them to just kind of stop dead. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I'm sure it's a heel finish.
Zack Ryder beat Del Rio. Supposedly Del Rio tried to beat up Ryder afterwards, and Ryder kind of kicked his butt. Miz TV, we had The Miz get the chicken wing by Bob Backlund. Again, Bob Backlund being on WWE, that's a little bit crazy. The guy's like 160 years old or something like that.
We're paying him a Legends contract. We might as well get him on TV.
We had Dean versus Kevin Owens, which ended in disqualification, which Teddy Long must have just come out or something because it said Owens and Rollins then were in a tag team match against Ambrose and Zayn, ending with Rollins pinning Zayn. So that's it. That's the last time you'll ever hear SmackDown spoilers.
Last time you'll be able to see into the future.
All right, now on to part 2.